Welcome back. We're at Zwartkops for the final round of the Extreme Festival and final round now of the CompCare Volkswagen Polo Cup. Davy van der Merwe comes into this round with 205 points and leads the championship, but he's got two hot contenders on his tail in Yuri Swart and Clinton Mercedes. It's going to be very important to go and find out what happened on qualifying, because the qualifying, of course, gives you a bonus point, and with there's only 4 or 5 points to play with, it's vital to get as many points in the bag as possible. And with 3 races here today, we're in for a banger. Let's go and find out what happened in qualifying and catch up with our top 3 contenders. Qualifying is going to be vital here, there's no doubt about it. Dean Venter pushing hard to try and get back up into that top 6. So is Devin Robertson for Team Red Racing and Big Boss Auto and Liqui Moly. But it's going to be the usual contenders. Yuri Swart having a little bit of issues. And wonder if he'll be able to get into that top 6 with the problems he's found on that car. Doesn't look like he's there. Let's catch up with Mike Rowe from Volkswagen Motorsport after 2022 season. One of the most competitive seasons we've had in Polo Cup in a long time.
Yeah, look, it's super tight. I think there's any one of 6 people that can actually win it, depending what happens in the front. But certainly amongst the top 3, there's only a handful of points, and 4th and 5th are right there. So it'll be very interesting. And I think the one that keeps his nerve the best is going to be the one that comes out on top.
That could be advantage Clinton Mercedes right now as he comes across the line and takes the checkered flag. Super pole for race number 1, and then it's all divided amongst the second fastest laps and then fastest laps out there. But Charles Visser, incredibly, put it on pole position. It didn't go according to plan for his teammate Davy. Take us through Super Pole. Didn't quite work out in that last corner.
Yeah, it is what it is. I think the lap was proper until the last corner, but it just shows you how hard we pushed to get that perfect lap in. But yeah, we can still do it from 4th. I think we'll see where this heat after the first race, and then just concentrate from there. But I think consistency is definitely going to play a huge role in today. But I'm looking forward. I can't wait for the first race and just get it behind me and focus on race 2 and 3 to come.
Qualifying went relatively well, but not quite what you expected.
Look, to be honest, it is kind of what we expected. We've been battling with issues with the car all weekend. Massive misfires, cutting up, limp modes, and it did the same thing in qualifying again. In Super Pole, I mean, I had to lift off the throttle down the straight to get it to stop misfiring. It's unfortunately not ideal. Look, we've changed everything last night, hopefully, but this morning warm-up it did it again, like massively. It loses like 30, 40 k's an hour on the straight. It's not even raceable, so yeah, in the end, you just got to do what you can do as a driver, and hopefully it pays off. The team's done hard work to get it right. But in the end, that is racing, unfortunately, and part of racing is making sure the car works.
Clint, you've got the biggest amount of work to do today, although it's only 5 points to play with. What's your plans?
Well, we'll take it heat by heat. First race 1, we're starting 2nd. Luckily, Yuri and Davy are starting behind me, so hopefully somebody keeps them up. But yeah, we'll take it race for race. 3rd now in the championship when we saw the points difference, and yeah, like I say, take it race from race. We know we got the good car, and yeah, let's see what happens.
It's going to be an epic finish to the 2022 season here at Zwartkops. Let's have a look at their lineup there. Charles and Mercedes on the front row, Msimanga and Van der Merwe behind them. Bishop and Swart on the 3rd row. Loosemore, great effort from Jason Loosemore. Best qualifying ever from him ahead of Dean Venter. And then Anthony Pretorius and Giordano Lupini there on the 5th row. Jagger Robertson looking for the rookie title will start in 11th. We come to lineup. Pressure's on. It's all time to bring it down to the wire now, and you can see Davy van der Merwe wants to go with Clinton Mercedes and try and get to the front end as quickly as possible. Yuri Swart hopefully has got those gremlins all sorted out as we go under race started orders now. The lights out, and from the aerial material, looks like it's a fantastic start there from Charles Visser. He goes side by side with Clinton Mercedes down towards turn 1, and they stay wing mirror to wing mirror coming out of turn number 1. Visser's on the inside line, but he's get forced off the line ever so slightly, but Clinton Mercedes pushing him off the circuit slightly there into turn 2. A little bit of pressure there. He drops back in about 5th place. Davy van der Merwe comes round his outside, and in the background, big incident. Bryce Pillay coming together at the back end of the field there. Dean Venter survived it. He's got through in the VDN car machine, and he comes side by side, as you can see, just getting through there. Is that Loosemore? I think it may be Jason Loosemore who's just come through there to outgun the VDN car into turn 4. Visser into what is now 4th place behind Naiti Msimanga. So the man on poles dropped down to 4th place. Pressure in the background. Yuri Swart runs wide ever so slightly. His teammate Giordano Lupini is there with Jagger Robertson. We're on board with Dean Venter. It is Jagger Robertson who's on his inside line as they head towards turn 5. Robertson just outgunning the VDN car as they go into turn 5. Great start there from Davy van der Merwe, exactly where he needs to be, behind his arch rival in this championship. And if they look a long way back, they'll see Yuri Swart. They won't be worried about Swart. It's going to be up to Besaidenout and van der Merwe to fight it out here for honours in this first heat. Visser comes along for the ride. Charles Visser's pole position has thrown him into an outstanding chance here and a mathematical chance of getting into the top 3 overall and still in with a shout for the championship. And he's now up to 3rd place ahead of Msamanga as we go on board here with Nati through turn 1. We're back on the outside here, and the angry car is Tate Bishop applying huge amounts of pressure onto Natia Msamanga. Look at Jason Loosmore, as I said, coming from an incredible championship in the oval track side of things. He's now got a lot of ground to make up, and a little bit of ground being lost there by Natia Msamanga as he misses a gear coming out of turn 3, and that's a big problem. Natia Msamanga's dropped behind Loosmore and now behind Giordano Lupini. So the first of the Bullion IT cars you would expect to see Yuri Swart, but this time out, it's Gio. And Gio doing a super job there to run with Jason Loosmore. Natia Msamanga comes back at Giordano as they go up the hill. Jagger Robertson going to try and go with them. Looking in the background, you can see there's a bit of pressure here from Charles Visser as he dives on the inside of his teammate. Looks like there might be a bit of a niggle there on Davy van der Merwe's car. Not quite sure why he's not firing on all cylinders, but definitely a bit of a problem there as Visser gets through on him relatively easily. So it's Giordano Lupini from Jagger Robertson from Dean Fenter. All led out by that second pack, and it's Jason Loosmore who is in 5th place, leading that second pack. Best drive we've seen out of Jason Loosmore. Oh, rookie mistake from the man who wants the rookie championship. What a catch though! Jagger Robertson doesn't go off, he just managed to keep it on track. Let's have a look at this from Clinton Besaidenout's point of view. This is the start, heading down in towards turn 1. He goes defensive into turn 1, but on his outside he's got Charles Visser. Visser and him coming together there, and there's a little tag between the two of them. It looks like it might be Visser and Besaidenout rubbing as always. You know, we look at it from Samanga's point of view. You can see Besaidenout's got the lead, and just not enough road for the two of them by the looks of things as they went into turn 2. Round the outside, you can see Davy van der Merwe coming through. This is Dean Fenter fighting hard here. Chamber 77 and VDN Auto cars taking on the Bullion IT cars. And it looks like Gio's fallen back behind Yuri. Yuri was just off track there by the looks of things, so he was just able to hang on. Let's see if that Marmite works here for Dean Fenter as they come under braking into turn 5. Out front though, it is the battle on of Nocha, and Clinton Besaidenout's doing it all right. At this stage, looks like he might be looking for the first victory. He's certainly pushing hard to do that, to stay ahead of Visser. Visser's pulled away now from Davy van der Merwe. Van der Merwe's got a problem. Some kind of an issue on that car, and it's definitely not firing like it usually does there for Davy van der Merwe. They're going to have to do some work there at Team Red Racing to ensure he still stays in with the chance of the championship. His teammate, Jason Loosmore, is having a phenomenal run here. The security fence and alarm system boy having a magic run ahead of Natia Msamanga. And closing down, as you can see, for a possible top 6 overall there to stay in contention with Tate Bishop even. So as they go into turn 4, that's your top 2. Besaidenout versus Visser. We've seen it all season long. We've seen it in karting for a long time as well. These two certainly know each other's driving skills and where they can try and find an advantage on each other. Right now, it's advantage Besaidenout. If he stays where he is right now on this final lap, he's going to take the lead of the championship to the tune of 2 points ahead of Davy van der Merwe, who's going to finish up in 3rd place by the looks of it. They come out of Kenwood. Charles Visser, as I said, has thrown in another ace into this pack of cards that is going to be the final round of Polo Cup. And CompCare Polo Cup has been such an incredible season. We heard it from Micro. We've seen it all season long. And first victory of the weekend is going to go to Clint Besaidenout, exactly where he wants to be. He tried to put the windscreen wipers on just to say he's happy about that. And he certainly is. He's wiped out the competition and gone to the lead of the championship, heading into race 2. Jason Loosmore, what an incredible drive there from him. As I said, coming from a national championship oval track victory, he comes up into the top 5 ahead of Natia Msamanga, and he was just behind Tate Bishop. Oh man, race 2 is going to be unbelievable. Let's catch up now with Charles Visser.
Clint and myself had an incident to turn 1. It could have ended catastrophic with myself and him being in the high barrier, and one of us could have got hurt, but then I backed out, so then I raced my race again. And then after through the race, the pace was very good. I'm looking forward to the next 2 heats, if I can just sort my starts out, and then we're still in it, I think. We got the bonus point, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the next 2 heats.
Just a reminder there from Charles that he's into the championship hunt now, and there are still another 2 heats of this championship to come. It's starting to heat up there, as you can see from the socks and slops on the fan, and lots of fans in the background as well there from Okarodia. Bryce Pillay hoping to get back into the heats as well. As we line up now for race number 2, Clinton Besaidenout, he's got to do it all again for another 2 times. Natia Msamanga certainly looking forward to a big battle again there. You can see Davy van der Merwe will be alongside him on the 3rd row as the lights are about to go out And look at this little start here as they head into turn 1. It is going to be epic yet again. Poseidon this time might get outgunned as they go into turn 1. We're on board with Davy van der Merwe side by side with Natim Samanga. He's got Tate Bishop just up the road. His teammate Charles Visser's in the mix there as well. So is Jason Loosemore. Unbelievable run here from Jason Loosemore. Here comes Yuri Swart. His arch rival around the outside. That's not what Davy want to be seeing. Not Yuri Swart ahead of him. And not 7 cars ahead of him. That is for sure. With Poseidon leading things out, he leads the championship going into this round. And with only one more race and whatever happens in the second one to be sorted out, Davy van der Merwe, it looks like he might be losing this championship on the track. As they head up towards turn 4, Visser on the inside, putting the pressure onto his teammate of the past, and now, of course, fighting hard for the championship rivalry. And there is Jagger Robertson coming through the field too. Is Jagger going to demote Davy van der Merwe down one position as well? It certainly looks that way. Visser dives on the inside, looking for a way through on Poseidon. Poseidon gives him a little bit of room there for Stu Davidson and Sons. Team Red Racing versus Stu Davidson and Sons as they go into Kenwood. This is Poseidon's point of view. Visser squeezes him out and returns the favour. There you go. Visser hits the front for the first time, exactly where he needs to be. Can he do anything about it? Clint Poseidon's going to try and come straight back at him. They get down onto the braking point now on the gearbox, and Jason Loosemore's applying the pressure, trying to help his teammate out there. On a similar way to what we saw last season, Charles Visser helping Leighton Free. Looks like Jason Loosemore is doing the same job here for Team Red Racing. As they come flying through turn 1, Visser's getting away ever so slightly. Poseidon will realise that. He has to get through on Jason Loosemore, who's having one of the best drives we've seen in his Polo Cup career this weekend. Natim Samanga behind that. Then, is that Nathan Victor? It is. The Summit Racing machine of Nathan Victor is up there ahead of Yuri Swart. That is an amazing drive from Nathan Victor. Only his 3rd time out in the car and only his 3rd time in a race. And he's super impressive, that is for sure. Davy van der Merwe, though, is super unhappy. And look at how hard he's having to fight. He's got Dean Fent on his inside. You can see there in the rearview mirror the VDN car coming up on the inside there of Davy. And is there a bit of an issue here? You can see he just doesn't have the drive up the hill. Fenta on his inside has got past on him. He's good on the brakes, but he's got nowhere to go because Fenta will be there. And he's going to have to tuck in behind Dean Fenta coming out of turn 5. So there's definitely issues here for Davy van der Merwe, for Team Red Racing. The man who came into this round leading the championship. He's lost the lead of the championship to the man who's in 2nd place at the moment. And Visser's dropped back. Visser's had some problems. Charles Visser's had some problems there. And is that going to be Jason Loosemore across the line leading a race? I think it was. Jason Loosemore leads a Polo Cup race in the final 2 races of the season. Dean Fenta coming together. Oh, big incident there between Dean Fenta. It looks like Jagger Robertson and him just tagging each other, heading into that corner. And Fenta catches it only just. So good drive there from him. And great reaction skills going into turn 1. That could have ended up a lot worse for Wes, as we've seen on a few occasions in the show what happens down at turn 1. So Visser's back up to 3rd place. He's got through on him Samanga. Yuri Swart ahead of Nathan Victor. Then it's Tate Bishop. There is the return of Davy van der Merwe. He's now ahead of Gio, but he's too far back. And looks like Poseidon's going for the lead. Poseidon just in the foreground there. Yes, there you go. Onto the inside, into turn 5, and he hits the front. That is exactly where he needs to be. Jason Loosemore needs to play the team game here and hopefully give up that 2nd place for his teammate Charles Visser. Charles Visser, if he stays where he is going to put himself into contention for a possible top 3 finish overall in this championship. Considering the fact that he came into this round in 5th place, he's done an amazing job. So here we go, into the closing stages of race 2, and it's Poseidon leading out over Loosemore, Visser and Samanga and Swart. Then it's Nathan Victor and Tate Bishop. No sign of Davy van der Merwe, your championship leader, and he's falling by the wayside even more. He's falling into the clutches there of the 2nd pack of cars. Jagger Robertson, his teammate, is in that 2nd pack, and he's having to work as frantically as ever here for the first time in the entire season here. Davy van der Merwe's season looks like it might be falling away. Natim Samanga on the attack, looking for a way through on Loosemore. Loosemore opens up the door, gives Charles Visser a great run into 2nd place. Playing the team game, that's exactly what you want to do when you've got 5 cars in the team. You're going to use every advantage you can get. Yuri Swart uses a little push to pass, goes flying around the outside of Natim Samanga, moves himself up into what is going to be 4th place. That could potentially keep him in the hunt for a top 3 overall as well in the championship. The checkered flag is on standby. Poseidon's going to make it 2 out of 2. Exactly what he needed to do. Hopefully he got the fastest lap as well. They'll give him the bonus point. And that could possibly have gone though to Charles Visser. So Visser's 2nd place and possible bonus point could throw him into the mix, as I said, for a 3rd overall for this championship. Maybe even a 2nd if he can stay ahead of Yuri in the final heat of the day. Checkered flag is out. It's 2 for 2 for Clint Poseidon. He's doing it all right here, is Baby Shumi. He wins out over Visser and Loosemore. That is a top finish there for Jason, ahead of Yuri Swart and Natim Samanga, Nathan Victor, Tate Bishop and Davy only all the way down in 8th place. Costly. Let's find out from Clint what his plans are for the final heat.
At the end of the day, like I said, we take it race by race, and these two are now done. 1 more left. hopefully nothing bad happens, all clean racing like I said at the end of the day, but yeah, I'm chuffed, I'm happy.
And you have the advantage. Those Dunlop tyres are going to have to work hard for one more heat. Looks like Brad Liebenberg wants to get back into Polo Cup by his little sneak in and cameo appearances here and there. Speaking of cameos, well, the Dunlop girls were looking spectacular. And now standing by for the final bit of race action. And as you can see, conditions have changed dramatically. The wind has picked up, there's a possible storm on the horizon, and there's a possible storm about to happen here at Zwartkops for the final CompCare Polo Cup of 2022. They head in, touching into turn number 1 from Davy and Glinda Besaidnout. Davy's up for the challenge, he's not giving up without a fight. Charles Visser heads into turn 2, hole shotting, and he stays ahead of Natyam Samanga. Samanga going to put the rose amongst the thorns there, or the thorn amongst the roses, depending on how you take it there from Zwartkops' point of view. Jason Newsmore goes from a 3rd place in race number 2 down into 3rd last position by the looks of it. Didn't quite go according to the plan there for Loosemore. Besaidnout side by side with Fanamava. That is exactly where Davy needs to be. He's still in with a shot, but it has to go dramatically wrong for Clinton Besaidnout. Right now, Clinton Besaidnout is in the prime position for a title and the championship for 2022. The angry car of Tate Bishop putting pressure onto the data and Team Red Racing machine of Davy Fanamava. They've worked frantically in the time between race 2 and 3 to try and get Davy's car sorted out. Seems to be firing a little bit better than what it was, and they're definitely a bit of a problem there for Davy in those 2nd and 3rd place cars. And as you can see now, fighting now for 4th place as he goes side by side yet again with the angry car of Tate Bishop. Brilliant IT machines flying through there, and it's Jagger Robertson on the outside of Gio. Jagger Robertson, if he finishes up where he is right there, will take the rookie championship. That'll be the 4th time that Team Red Racing has taken it in succession. He's got Bryce Pillay on his tail, one of his hot contenders in that rookie championship, and he's still going to have to fight it out hard. Dean Fent around the outside of Yuri Swart into turn 2. He had to take the high line there because Yuri was late on the brakes trying to get on the inside of Davy, who saw him coming and shut the door. Here comes the Calyx car of Cara Hill. What a fantastic drive she's had all season long as well. Cara definitely has been a big find for this championship and is certainly going to be in contention for a top 10 overall. As they head down the back straightaway, listen to that wind in the background. It is pumping here. It's certainly going to be affecting the amount of grip they've got, and of course the aerodynamics of these cars as well. Very good in terms of aerodynamic package, but with the wind pumping like it is right now, makes it very difficult. You've got late braking and early braking to contend with here compared to what you'd normally have in ideal conditions. Dean Fenter under pressure. Oh, it's on. Is that Jagger? Yes, it is. Jagger Robertson diving on his inside, going with Davy Fanamava, defending his teammate there and his position on track, but also defending his chances of that rookie title. That looks like Jean-Andre Marais parked on the inside. Problems there for him as he's parked it on the inside there, and that is the safety car being pulled out due to the fact we've got that car parked on the inside of turn number 1. That's the teammate to Clinton Besaidnout, the man who would be king, or could be king, depending on what happens in the next couple of laps. Safety car's off. We are under racing again. Hazards are on there for Charles Visser. Is he going to be putting the hazard at the front end of this field with pressure coming from Zwartkops' Natyam Samanga? Besaidnout in 3rd place. I'm sure he would have got a pit board or some kind of notification that 3rd is good enough. Is that going to be good enough for him though? Will he look for 3 out of 3 and just wrap up this championship with a complete domination here at the final round? That's kind of the way he usually drives. So expect some big fireworks now from Besaidnout. Fireworks are coming from Natyam Samanga right from the word go, trying to get through there on Visser. Tate Bishop lines up with Yuri Swart behind him, then it's Davy Fanamava, Giordano Lupini. It's literally the Cape Town Massive at the front end of this field. You throw in KwaZulu-Natal's man, that is Clinton Besaidnout, Natyam Samanga from Gauteng, and from Mpumalanga, Davy Fanamava. The rest of them are all from Cape Town. What an incredible drive here from Charles Visser. If he stays where he is right now, which is 3rd on track, he'll be 2nd overall in the championship and just beat Yuri Swart to the line. That would be an amazing turnaround there from Visser's point of view. Dean Fenter putting the pressure onto Davy Fanamava. Oh, little tag between the 2 tags between Fenter and Davy Fanamava. Dean squeezes through, and he's got Jagger Robertson applying pressure as well. So he's fighting hard there with the Team Red boys and with Cara Hill. The Calyx machine just dives on the inside there of Dean Fenter in the closing stages. Can you believe this action? The race is not done. The championship is not done. They are still fighting hard, even though there's only a couple of laps to go here. This is incredible stuff, as always, in CompCare Polo Cup. As they head down into turn 1, it is Natyam Samanga who now leads out. What an incredible drive that would be to see Nati taking the final victory of the season. As I said, 3rd was good enough, 2nd is even better there, and Charles Visser in 3rd may give himself 2nd overall in the championship. Besaidnout's 2nd place will certainly wrap up the championship. Here we go. As they come flying into turn 3. Oh, Natyam Samanga's missed a gear again. Can you believe that? A 2nd time there and the same mistake from Natyam Samanga on the exact same corner. Can you believe that? That is not what Natyam Samanga wanted. That is for sure. He drops down to 3rd place behind Charles Visser and into the clutches of the angry car of Tate Bishop. Bishop still continues to keep out Yuri Swart and Giordano Lupini, the two bullion IT cars there, looking for a top 6 finish overall. Formation flying there for the last part of the top 6 there for those two. But it's absolutely incredible work being done here by Charles Visser and Clinton Besaidnout. Besaidnout looks like he might get 3 out of 3 here. The total domination of Clinton Besaidnout is going to be secured in terms of a championship and final domination of this championship as well from that team. This is top quality stuff here from Clinton Besaidnout. And Baby Shumi comes down to the final corner for the last time in 2022. The checkered flag is waiting. There you have it. Oh, he's an ecstatic man. You have to give him that opportunity to give you exactly how he feels into turn number 2. Your champion for CompCare Polo Cup 2022, Clinton Besaidnout, with 3 wins out of 3 starts in the final part of this championship. Brilliant stuff there from him. Winning out of a Charles Visser, Natium Samunga, Tate Bishop, Yuri Swart, and Jagger Robertson in the top 6 will wrap up the rookie title as well for Team Red Racing. Let's catch up now with a man who is absolutely ecstatic. Your champion, Clinton Besaidnout.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's been 5 years coming. Finished second a lot of times, and 2022 is our year. I'm happy. 3 wins on the day. Couldn't ask for anything better. Now into 2023.
Mom was certainly smiling down, and Dad is exceptionally happy as well. The first man to congratulate him there, and well done to Clinton Besaidnout, beating out Charles Visser and Yuri Swart. Davy van der Merwe finished up in 4th place ahead of Tate Bishop, and Giordano Lupini wins out the top 6. What a championship this has been on the Extreme Festival side of things, and we've wrapped them all up here at Zwartkops. We can't wait to bring you 2023 at the Extreme Festival National Championships. And all that action starts at the Killarney International Raceway in March 2023. All this Extreme Festival action is proudly brought to you by CompCare Medical Scheme, Dunlop Tires, Ferodo, the #1 in brakes, and InvestCare.